It all began right here. Well, not exactly. It started here. Sort of. But we'll get there later. The truth is, it all began right here. And we're about to dive into the creation of one of the most epic fighting video games ever made. Do you like this type of content? Welcome to Devoted Good Game, the new show from Devoted Studios where we talk, discuss, and research everything related to the gaming industry and gaming. Don't forget to subscribe or hit the like button. Over the past 30 years, and in order of its latest release, Mortal Kombat has been a massive franchise with over 110 million sales worldwide, including movies, sequels, and spin-offs that have cultivated a huge fan base across the world. What makes Mortal Kombat so unique as a fighting game? Let's find out.
Round 1. Fight!
The year is 1992, and the two employees from Midway called Ed Boon and John Tobias decide to create a video game to fill a production hiatus at the company.
My name is Ed Boon. I'm co-designer and programmer.
John Tobias, and co-designer and lead artist.
By being avid fans of martial arts movies and kung fu, they set out to create a fighting game. Midway had experienced significant success with the creation of the Terminator 2 video game, which featured the use of both the real actors from the movie and their stunt doubles. This led John and Ed to wonder whether they could develop a video game centered around the biggest martial arts star of that time, Jean-Claude Van Damme. They approached the actor, but they didn't receive the feedback they were expecting. They didn't receive any feedback at all.
A couple of 20-year-old kids, 20-something-year-old kids, wanted to make a video game. I could see how Van Damme would go. No, we're not doing this, and not knowing that.
Fortunately, this gave John and Ed the freedom to unleash their full creative potential and build characters from scratch, along with a whole new world. Tobias was able to build the storyline around a group of archetypal warriors from diverse realms who could only defend and conquer them by engaging in a tournament known as
Mortal Kombat!
Since Van Damme declined, they hired a group of martial arts experts and recorded their movies for later inclusion in the video game. At that time, Midway was a pioneer in using video digitalization software, providing their games with more realistic graphics. Through the WTRG software created by Warren Davis, the game developers were able to record real actors and then convert those images and frames into the screen. This technology allowed Tobias and Ed to use real people as fighters, and also to create complex fantasy creatures as puppets that then were digitalized and added to the video game. As time went on, Tobias served as the art director and Ed was the programmer, and the team grew from 2 persons to 4, adding John Vogel in charge of the backgrounds and Dan Horden handling the sound engineering.
And those people.
Under the leadership of Ed and John, they developed such a powerful game that when the demo was presented to the executives at Midway, it absolutely blew their minds. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Round 2. Fight!
When Mortal Kombat launched, it became an instant huge success, transforming the game into a classic from day one. In comparison to other fighting games of the time, Mortal Kombat stood out not only because of the world Tobias had created, but also because of the gameplay developed by Ed Boon, the programmer. The fast-paced combat, the precise frame rate for attacks, and the immersive impact conveyed through sound and visual cues like screen shaking and timing, all meticulously programmed by Boon, contributed to making the gameplay an extraordinary experience. But that wasn't all. Boon programmed a unique code for each fighter, enabling them to finish the fight with a distinctive move. This special combo, which players had discovered to defeat their opponents in the most unique and bloodiest way possible, later became a hallmark of the game: the Fatalities. Fatalities showcase the essence of the game's choreography, encompassing elements like blood, gore, unexpected twists, hidden Easter eggs, and the player's quest to discover unique character combos.
Fatality.
From then on, subsequent releases of the game not only expanded the fan base, but also propelled the franchise to new heights. Arcades were selling like hotcakes. When the game was released for home entertainment consoles, the Sega version outsold the NES version by 3-1. This was due to the NES being primarily associated with the family market, which required the game to be adapted for play without the blood and fatalities. As the roster of characters grew and the storytelling evolved, Mortal Kombat introduced additional elements like increased blood, fatalities, animality moves, and friendships. These features kept players engaged as they eagerly attempted to discover and master these combos. Technology was also evolving in the video game industry at a fast pace, similar to the kicks and punches delivered by the warriors of MK. At first, the characters were filmed in a high-8 camera. For Mortal Kombat 2, the crew upgraded to a Betacam recorder. This made the characters look more sharp and brighter. With the rise of new and accessible software, such as Photoshop, the artist crew was able to add more details to the characters in post-production. Also, for Mortal Kombat 3, they started to experiment with 3D packages. It wasn't until the release of Mortal Kombat 4 that digitalized video was substituted for motion capture animation, marking the rise of a new era. From this moment, characters were developed from scratch in the digital realm depending on the actors, only to capture their movements. Movies, series, and spin-offs were also made along the way, expanding the universe of the Mortal Kombat franchise. In the early 2000s, Tobias left, Midway filed for bankruptcy, and Mortal Kombat was absorbed by Warner Bros. Games, leading to the creation of a subsidiary studio called NetherRealm. The following versions included the expansion of the universe and more characters were added to the roster. Up to the date, more than 100 characters had fought in the Mortal Kombat contest. One of the highlights of the franchise was the release of Mortal Kombat vs. the DC Universe. It was the first crossover between characters from a different universe such as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. This crossover paved the way for future crossover titles. By adding more iconic characters to the franchise such as Terminator or RoboCop.
Finish him.
40 years have passed since the release of the first MK, and now with the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1, the franchise is more alive than ever. New portals are open, new characters appear, and new gameplay makes the game fresh and actual. Mortal Kombat 1 will be the beginning of a new chapter in the Mortal Kombat timeline. As Ed Boon said, this is the perfect game to start from scratch or get to know the Mortal Kombat. Fans are eagerly anticipating the chance to play and explore the new features, such as the Cameo Fighters, a unique roster of partner characters designed to assist during matches. Additionally, there's the single-player mode called Mortal Kombat Invasions, introducing an exciting RPG aspect. In this mode, players will have the opportunity to explore different realms and acquire modifiers for their warriors, unlocking cameo fighters, skins, and gadgets. Additionally, in this release, new characters from different universes will be added, including Peacemaker from DC, Omni-Man from the Invincible series, and Homelander from the Boys comics and TV series. But the big announcement for the fans is the introduction of Jean-Claude Van Damme as a fighter. Finally, after 30 years, and after developing a game inspired by the persona of the 80s martial arts star, he will be in the game. The circle is now whole, and the fans can eagerly anticipate watching one of the most highly anticipated matchups of all time: Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Johnny Cage. New features, new characters, new gameplays, and 30 years along the way. So, going back to the question from the beginning of the video, what makes this video game a classic and the ultimate fighting game? In the words of the creator Ed Boon, what makes this video game stay for so much time is the opportunity to always push for more. More characters, more combos, more flesh, more blood, more innovation, more stories, more realms, and more gameplay. That's why Mortal Kombat is more alive than ever, and we guess we will have more blood, sweat, and fatalities for a long time.
Finish game.
If you've made it this far and enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.